All right, everyone, we got two different stories we have to talk about today. First of which has to do with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass Wave 5, because we do know that we are quickly approaching that time of year where the next wave will be out, and Nintendo just teased it officially on the Nintendo of Canada Twitter account. And the other talking point for today's video has to do with the latest Nintendo Switch system firmware update that you've probably seen go live, 16.0.3, which was a rebootless update, and spoiler alert, it is once again nothing major, and we've actually had a trend of nothing major system updates for the Switch, and I want to discuss the broader conversation of where we should be setting our expectations when it comes to any kind of notable changes to the Nintendo Switch system firmware going forward. What's up, nation? Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your bell notification if you haven't already. And as mentioned, guys, the first story we are discussing today has to do with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass and Wave 5, which we do know to expect relatively soon, because believe it or not, we are nearing the end of this booster course expansion for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. We know the kind of sales numbers that this thing is achieving, well over 50 million units sold now. It was quite honestly a game that had so much momentum behind it that I truly believe that Nintendo pivoted and decided to add in this additional content to prolong the life of the game due to the unprecedented success. I do think that we might be staring at a true up sequel to this game if it wasn't for its unprecedented success. If you think about it, this game was originally released for the Wii U in 2014, and we are still talking about it today, nearing the middle of 2023, and we will be talking about it at least until the end of 2023, because that's when Wave 6 is scheduled to wrap this thing up. Now, of course, this DLC is part of the expansion pack, so if you are a Nintendo Switch Online subscriber and you upgraded to the expansion pack, you are able to grab this at no additional cost. One of the many benefits of being an expansion pack member. Granted, if you ever stop your subscription, you obviously lose that benefit, and you do have the option to also purchase this DLC individually for that $25 US price point. But the reason that this is in the news today is a recent tease from Nintendo, and this isn't really anything groundbreaking. We know to expect it over the summertime, but we don't know exactly when to expect Nintendo to pull back the curtain on the live date for this thing. And recently, Nintendo of Canada, their official account, took to Twitter, "It's mom and dad's time to shine when it comes to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Can you show off your skills at family game night, or will you be the one to fall behind?" And then more courses are coming to the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass soon. Now, whether or not they're hinting that these tracks might be playable before Father's Day, since that's a mom and dad type reference there for the family game night, I don't know. Father's Day is June 18th, so there is technically plenty of time for them to drop the announcement and then turn around and put it out before that day hits, and maybe that's what this is kind of hinting towards. We still don't know about any potential Nintendo Direct happening in June either, and if there is one, you would assume a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass Wave 5 trailer to be at that showcase. But again, if you watch my video on that, yes, there's a lot of talk and rumbling online around a Direct potentially coming sometime soon, but we really don't know that Nintendo will hold their traditional mainline event, and we very well could be looking at a partner showcase again towards the end of June, like we saw them stick to last year. Then we get that bigger, more traditional mainline Direct presentation in September. But the cool thing about Wave 5 and why we should all kind of be hyped as Mario Kart fans has to do really with the trend of what we've seen them add in recent updates, because now we are seeing them not only add in new courses, but of course we know to expect more characters to come as well. In addition to that, each time these updates have hit, some different application updates have also hit Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, even adding in new item customization modes, most notably to the game. We're talking about new functionality whenever some of these updates go live, so the possibilities are really endless, and it's exciting to think that we're going to get multiple characters added in each wave with Wave 5 and 6. Plus, there might be that surprise new customization option or new game mode or two. Not to mention, we're seeing some original from the ground up developed tracks. Granted, they are coming to Mario Kart Tour as well, and that's where a lot of this DLC stems from, but that's still cool to be able to play brand new courses that we've never seen before, like the Yoshi's Island most recently. So again, no big surprises here, but a quick little reminder from Nintendo that we should be setting our expectations towards the Wave 5 announcement sometime soon. And I want to hear from you guys in the comments down below, which characters and or game customization options or even brand new game modes would you like to see added into Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? And bonus question, when do you think we'll see a true up sequel for this game? Because if I'm a betting man, I don't think we can expect it at least until the next generation console, and maybe even a couple years into the console's life cycle at that. So please share all your thoughts and feelings on all things Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass Wave 5 in the comments down below. Now, the other story we're talking about today has to do with the newest Nintendo Switch firmware update that you probably saw hit your Nintendo Switch somewhat recently. Granted, this was a small update. It was rebootless. That means you don't actually have to restart the console for the update to take effect, but your software version is officially now 16.0.3 if you have chosen to do the update. Interestingly, just about every recent Nintendo Switch system firmware update has been really minimal, if anything at all. There's been some general system stability and improvements along the way. I believe when we went to 16.0.0, that was all that was, and even 15.0.0 before it. The big number changes that you would normally expect to have a lot of big behind the scenes, under the hood style changes really had nothing notable. Even data miners going through every piece of code and realizing that very small internal system components were being changed, but nothing in the way of new features. Gone are the days of being able to expect, oh, you have groups feature now available where you can group together certain games, although that should still exist on the main boot up screen and not in the all software folder. Nintendo at least added that in later on into the Nintendo Switch's life cycle. We also, of course, had one of the biggest, most notable system firmware upgrades when Nintendo randomly decided to enable Bluetooth headset support. For the longest time, you could not do that on your Nintendo Switch console, and randomly one day, Nintendo decides to add in that functionality. Well, I think we are now in an era in the Switch where we know that we are going to be transitioning to new hardware sometime soon. It might be a year from now, it might be 2 years from now, but the Nintendo Switch has essentially had its heyday, its moment in the spotlight, if you will. And while it is still selling very strong and OLED models are still flying off store shelves, a lot of people probably just picked up the Tears of the Kingdom Edition OLED and are enjoying that. It is still aged hardware. We are playing on a Tegra X1 that was originally sold in 2015 inside the Nvidia Shield TV type systems, and then we saw it released in the Switch in 2017. We are now in 2023, and we are using that same chipset to run all of our Nintendo Switch games that we know and love today, and naturally, you would expect Nintendo to start to shift focus on a true successor to this system, and I think that that's the era that we are now in, because when you read through the patch notes to this update, you will see that this is one of the most minor changes we have seen thus far. As you can see, Oatmeal Dome's tweet over on Twitter where it reads, Nintendo Switch System Firmware Update. A rebootless update for 16.0.3 was released. The bad words list were changed. It appears Nintendo removed several words, though some were also added for Japanese. Notably, ADHD was removed from the Japanese bad words list. So we are in the era of Nintendo Switch system firmware updates where the most minor change, like ADHD being removed from the Japanese bad word list, gets a system update. It's interesting that they have to do a system update at all with a new version number just to make changes to the bad words list, but that's the kind of changes that they're making to the Switch recently. I wouldn't expect anything in terms of massive new functionality on the console from here. I think those days have come and gone. I think most system updates will just be these small, minute changes, maybe more system stability fixes along the way somewhere, and I do think that we will get one notable update when the true next-gen system comes out, and they probably have some kind of way to talk to each other or transfer over part of your profile and save data, providing that we can expect the next console to be backwards compatible. I think it would be a huge miss if Nintendo doesn't do that, but obviously we haven't had any official confirmation from them suggesting that it will so far, and there's definitely going to be some cross functionality with likely online play if the Switch is backwards compatible. Nintendo Switch Online and how the consoles work and function and talk across both consoles, all that stuff will have to be updated, and that's probably when we will get the next big system upgrade. I think the days of hoping for custom themes and all of the different customization options that are missing from the Switch today are now dead and gone. I don't think we're going to get a new system UI that totally overhauls the Switch's look and feel like you see in so many of those fan-made thumbnails and things. I think that those days are all behind us. So from here, expect minor changes, bad words list updates whenever you see a new Nintendo Switch system firmware upgrade, and probably don't get your hopes set on anything more than that. But I want to hear from you guys at this point in the video on both the different stories we talked about today. How are you feeling about Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass Wave 5, and when do you think we will see it drop on the Switch? And are you like me and you think that from here we're likely going to get just small system updates to the Nintendo Switch and nothing major? Or do you think that there's a chance that Nintendo throws a curveball and actually does give us things like custom themes and a new UI on our Nintendo Switch console before it's all said and done, and before we're talking about the next gen Switch? So regardless of your thoughts and feelings on everything we talked about today, I do look forward to hearing from you all in the comments down below before we leave the video, as I do look forward to getting a back and forth conversation started with you all around this topic. Go watch yesterday's video next if you haven't already, which is on screen right now. Also make sure you like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next video.